What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Now, the reason I sound so funky and my room's a mess, I just had surgery. Why there hasn't been a video in a minute, and I just wanted to say thank you guys for the support, as well as basically let me explain what this video is going to be. I'm going off topic. Sorry, my mind is all over the place right now. We're going to be looking at kind of the history of tower defenses, not all of them. We're going to look at what each tower defense has brought to the community, right? Because I think a lot of the time, at least in the anime community and especially the anime tower defense community, a lot of people are negative towards the games, and I get at some situations, yes, but I feel like a lot of people are very negative. So I think we're going to look at the positives of every tower defense, even if you don't enjoy them, even if you think the games are bad. I think we're going to look at all the positives that are within them. So let's get straight into it. So first we're going to start with the OG, which is All-Star Tower Defense. Well, this is All-Star Tower Defense X, who just had an update. Now, All-Star Tower Defense, why do I look so freaky in here? Anyway, All-Star Tower Defense was pretty much the first tower defense that kind of started the anime tower defenses. I'm saying tower defense a lot. I do apologize. Yeah, I'm so out of it. I'm sorry, guys. But I got to get this video out for you guys. I was going to do an Anime Crusaders video, but they delayed the update. So I was like, you know what, let's go positive maxing. Oh, they finally dropped a battle pass. Anyway, this game pretty much just started tower defenses, so that's its big positive. You could, break down everything, be like, it added story, all this, that, blah, 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 but it was the first to do tower defenses. That's its major contribution. So, yeah, I mean, I don't believe it was the first tower defense, but it was the first one that really inspired everything. Some of these as well are going to be very quick, like Anime Royale, which, it does not really get updated anymore, and there's a lot of these on here that I will go over. So something positive Anime Royale added was, I would say it's been so long since I played, but I would have to say the beginner-friendly event missions. If you've ever played those are pretty good. But we'll move on quickly. So we have Anime Odyssey here, which is still closed. This was pretty much going to be Anime Adventures Remastered, then Anime Adventures came back. So what this did for the community, this is going to sound like a cop-out answer, and it probably is, because it really didn't do anything other than it made Anime Adventures come back, or at least announce they were coming back. So yeah, I guess I'll take that. Anime Defenders. Anime Defenders is actually a really solid game, and what it added to the tower defense community is probably considered mainly a bad thing. I would say it's a bad thing, and that is the macroing. Macroing became super huge with Anime Defenders, and it has pretty much stayed a consistent thing in tower defenses ever since. Now, another quick one we can talk about is Anime Reborn, led by Moz King, and then the rest of these will kind of go a little more in depth on. Like I said, I'm recovering from surgery, so I'm a little out of it, so I do apologize if I miss anything. Please let me know in the comments. While you're down there, subscribe. If you don't enjoy the content, you can always unsubscribe. Hey, I'm never too out of it to remind you guys to subscribe. But anyway, we can talk about Anime Reborn. Anime Reborn brought the I want to say calendar events really to life. They were the first one to really be okay, log in, you get this. Everyone has login rewards, but they were oh, log in on this time, you get these special rewards, you get these different presents and stuff. And then they added the almost gambling system, which is, I like gambling, so I would say it's pretty cool. But they added that as well, which was pretty nice. But that's all I kind of have to say about that. Now we can move into some of the more mainstream tower defenses, and we can talk about those. Okay, so next we're going to talk about my favorite tower defense of all time, which is Anime Adventures. Please come back, AA. I think it's going to come back, but that's a different video. And if you guys want to see that, I will drop it. And I might, maybe... No, not tomorrow, because we'll be doing the Anime Crusaders as long as it updates on time. But anyway, Anime Adventures, this was the tower defense that made the rest of the tower defenses. Because before, it was just All-Star Tower Defense and Anime Adventures. Those were the only two. It wasn't until Anime Adventures shut down that a bunch of other tower defenses popped up. I think the only other one at the time that had any players was Anime World Tower Defense. That was literally the only one other than AA and ASTD to be dropping anything. So Anime Adventures was pretty much just imagine ASTD, but all the problems were fixed. The game looked way better. Everything looked better. Yeah, now it's a little different because they've changed so many models. which I wonder if they've changed anymore since the last time I was on. I'm not seeing any, so I don't know, but that's besides the point. This game pretty much added, like, it's basically the standard of tower defenses now, at least like in base game and stuff, like all the different types of units, all the different types of enemies, all different types in general. This game pretty much did it all. The traits are heavily based off this game in almost every single game. It like I said, it basically did it all, down from the play, down to the events, everything. Everything is so based on this game. As you can see, the traits, where are they at here? Now, people don't use these exactly, but what they do and how they're represented and their chances are practically the exact same thing. The Infinity Castle is copied in pretty much every game. Obviously, the leaderboard is as well. Almost all of these coming strictly from Anime Adventures. Battle Pass as well, which I'm not sure if that originated here. Tournaments, which came from this as well. Really, just the forerunner, the ground runner for tower defenses. I don't know the word I'm looking for. The trailblazer. It really started tower defenses. It is really what put tower defenses on the map, because people liked ASTD a lot, but there was nothing to compete with ASTD. So you kind of had what you had. And then Anime Adventures came out, and it was like, whoa, this is like ASTD, but like better. Because ASTD and Anime Adventures are both like passion projects, but with Anime Adventures, it just felt like it took that next step, and it really did. It was the next step in tower defenses. And then we can talk about Anime World, which I guess had an update recently. I didn't know. Now, this game could be huge if they would hire a better like designer, because their like designs and UI and stuff is really shit. I'm sorry to be mean about that, but it is. Like, the game just looks awful. And if they had like more than one main dev would be nice. See, because look, this game just does not look good. But this game added a lot to the tower, like a lot more than people would think. They were the first game to really do, why can't I leave this? They were the first game to really do summon animations, as well as they introduced a lot of unique things that I can't even name them all because I haven't really played this game as much. They added a bunch of unique units and stuff. They were the first game to do skins. They follow more of a Dokkan route, which I don't think any other game really does, in terms of having like leaders and stuff like that. But yeah, this game is very unique and added a lot to the tower defense community. Obviously the problems, like I said, where the game looks bad, and honestly that could be fixed in a lot of ways. And they only really have one main developer, which sucks. So that takes forever. Yeah, this game added a lot, and it was very good for the tower defense community. Next, we have Anime Last Stand, which can be attributed to adding a lot as well. I do want to mention one of the bad things they can be attributed for. I know this is supposed to be like a positive video, but I do just want to mention it because I think it's very important, and some people may not find it as negative things. Just I personally do. This game is responsible for making people's expectations too high, and I don't mean that in a good way, like, oh, this game must have had like amazing updates. No, I mean like in expecting weekly updates. I think that's a little ridiculous for almost any game. It's honestly ridiculous for this game because half the time the updates are late, delayed, or they end up being bad because they're rushed so much, right? So I think that's a bad thing that, maybe shouldn't be a thing. But anyway, the good thing that this added, I mean, there's like countless of things. Like, they did these extreme boost, boss rush, like they added all these new game modes. They are very, very unique in their traits. They are very unique in the abilities they have in the game. This game just added a bunch of like new stuff, like this divine stuff, altars, clans, and well, they didn't do clans. These random trials and stuff, final expedition, like, which this is new. I don't really know what that is. But yeah, they added these caverns as well. They really added a lot to this game, and it kind of, I don't really say affected many other tower defenses, because none of the other ones really include that much stuff that they do here, but this game kind of just like showed how different a tower defense can be, because there's not really any other tower defense like this. If you were to compare one, it would probably be ASTD, but ASTDX is nothing like it, so it's kind of the only one on its own now, but it definitely inspires other tower defenses by just the creativity, right? It makes it so where these other games realize, like, hey, we can do other stuff because ALS did. And for the last three, we have Anime Crusaders, Rangers, X, and Vanguards. Now, I'm just going to talk about Crusaders quickly. I'm not going to go into it because it's pretty much just like AA. And what I will say about this one, honestly, is just a transparent dev team. Most dev teams are not transparent, even if they act like it. Boss Studios. Anyway, that's besides the point. I'm not going to go into the Boss Studios hate train because it's a positive video. So I would say they're just a pretty just clear dev team. But other than that, for the most part, they just copy AA. So I can't really say anything too crazy. We'll talk about Anime Rangers X and do Vanguards last because Vanguards is kind of like the third front runner or the third trailblazer of anime tower defenses. Okay, so Anime Rangers X is also responsible for continuing that legacy of AFKing, which just isn't good. But one thing they did add that is good, if I can think of one, is I guess like their unique game modes, like they have the Boss Rush and the Expedition, like those are all cool and stuff, and I guess overall their gameplay is pretty solid because it's not technically tower defense. Like I could not include it in this, and people would not ask because it's not a tower defense really. And I would say like its grind is different. It's more of a just constant grind rather than like a hard grind. Like there's nothing really hard in this game at all. And I think this game has kind of gotten pretty basic and boring. But again, the positive maxing. So I'm trying to say one thing that it added, and I would just say like unique grind set, unique game modes, and stuff. The units themselves even aren't all that unique. But anyway, we'll move on to Vanguards, which is probably one of the bigger games in this conversation. Alright, so now we are moving on to Anime Vanguards, which is probably the third trailblazer right after ASTD and Anime Adventures, because this was the game that after Anime Adventures shut down, like really took over. Now, it took them a while to do that because at first, their game came out, it was huge, and then they flopped because they had like a few bad updates back to back. And yeah, now they are back kind of on top where they want to be. And the reason why is just because of quality of life. This is the game changer in quality of life. Almost every quality of life feature in every tower defense comes from this game. So that's like the big thing about this. Like Anime Adventures was basically revamping gameplay of the first prototype, and then this is basically like Anime Adventures with revamping the quality of life features. And so now we're getting to a point where tower defenses are kind of like converging and being very similar. So I wonder when AA comes back how it will be different again, because that's going to be a big issue, right? Because at this point, all the games are going to be very similar because they've all kind of been through all the changes. You had the three Trailblazers kind of go through it. Now we're just waiting on the uniqueness to come out. And this game did a lot. Like I said, it's mainly quality of life stuff. I would say that is the biggest thing by far. None of their game modes are even all that special. Like, you have the Rifts, which I guess, but Anime Royale did Rifts first as well. The summer event is unique, but it's not like anything crazy. Worldlines is just Infinity Castle. Odyssey is not that special. Dungeons are just another raids. The only thing you can say is their like portal events, like their winter summer events and stuff. Those are sort of unique, but again, they are just kind of portals. So yeah, this game really focused on adding quality of life stuff rather than like giving us like big original things. And a lot of the times, I don't mean to be rude, but a lot of times the big original things are not the greatest. Like the summer event, I think is cool. Like the Odyssey, I don't find much point in. The Rift is kind of stupid that you have to wait every 2 hours, but that's besides the point. And then they add some stuff that's original, like the Dragon Ball story, that is honestly stupid. But other than that, yeah, this game really focused on the quality of life stuff, and I think that is what made it like that next Trailblazer. And it kind of shows the impact that it had on tower defenses as well, because now every tower defense has that has the same quality of life stuff that Vanguard's implemented. Well, that's going to do it for this video. Again, I do apologize for my lack of energy and probably my lack of understanding, I guess, because I probably at some point in this video did not really make much sense. I am just feeling bad. I just got out of surgery like a day ago, and so I'm not really feeling that great. So I do apologize for that. But if you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. You can always unsubscribe later if you don't enjoy the content as well. I have my Discord in the description. Once we hit 50 members, we will be doing a viewer-based video, which means you guys get to be involved. And I have my Twitch and second channel in the description as well if you want to see and hear more of me. I really appreciate you guys so much more than you know. That's why I'm doing this video right now instead of just laying down and relaxing, because I want to, I feel bad not getting you guys some content. So I do apologize. I know it's not the best video, and I know recently the videos haven't been amazing, and if you watch my short, I kind of addressed that, but we're going to do a lot better. I'm coming up with ideas since I'm just like stuck doing nothing all day, and when we come back, we're gonna do some big things. So I appreciate all of you for being here, sticking with me, and yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy what's next to come. Thank you for watching.